Oh, that's good. That's a good start right there. I don't know if anyone else here has this, but sometimes if I leave ZBrush on, go do something else and come back, it just crashes as soon. Only experienced this. I think it has something to do with quick save. Okay. Big thing I want to make sure that doesn't happen here because when um, I cut in here to start sculpting in these overlapping pieces, I cut in this way, so this looks like it's has an indent in it, but I want it to look like it just goes in flush. If that makes sense. Like a seam here. This looks like it's a piece as instead of something. If I make it ride flush, then it's believable. I'm not actually gonna have it go underneath. I could do that, but I feel like this will bake better for normal. Okay. What I'm gonna actually do here is use masking. That worked a lot better than trying to carve it in. That is for sure. Because I was up there. Softer. Good not to just stick on one. Because if you see something that needs to be fixed, I'll forget about it. Yeah. Far. And pretty nice. Fairly crisp. It doesn't have to be too perfect, because again, not like the normal maps aren't up everything. It has to be good, like as good as I can. So taking hours. But you know, it's fun stuff. Sculpting is a good time. Gotta do some more actual sculpting too. Also a lot of fun. I've only done it a little bit, but a couple times that I have done traditional sculpting, had a good time. Just a matter of finding time because it takes a little bit longer to set up and all that stuff. That's why ZBrush is great, because jump in, worry about anything, focus on creating art. Man, this mic, I'm not fond of. Oh well, live and learn. Yeah, if anyone ever buys a mic, just putting it on your head for a little bit. And you'll know. That's okay. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put that in the chat. Although it's kind of hard to tell what I'm doing. Tunnel visioning this. Tunnel vision, go! Yeah. Ooh. There's a little key there. Gotta put that. You know, I need a break from this rap. Let's do this. Let's jump over here. Okay, so this hair has to... fill that in. I don't want a gap between the hair and the hat, because that's... I'm still contemplating if I want to make his hair under his hat, but I don't think I will. If anything, I might make two versions of his hair. but I don't know. I don't think I have time for that. I can't just spend all my time on one project. I have a lot of projects to. But if there's time, maybe. I'll start with this and then go on that. I still have a lot of work to do. Quite a lot. I kind of want this to follow the hat. If the hat is kind of do it. That's better. Little things, all the different. Trying to do something like that too. I don't like how it's just stuck in there. Up a little. It feels. Visions again. Hey. Pumpkin. Spend all this time polishing stuff. Should I do this now? Jump in there. Yeah, I've been for the last few streams I've been doing, but cleanup's very important. It's just it's what differentiates complete model from incomplete model, right? So if you don't spend any time doing like the little finessing, it just won't feel finished, won't feel polished. And you can tell when you see a model online if people haven't done this. I mean, you won't be able to say like a specific thing, but you'll be able to see overall that it just kind of feels muddy and just not solidified. That makes sense at all. At least that's what I don't know. I don't like pushing my ideals on people, but I guess that's what this is. If I'm streaming, I might as well give my opinion. I'm not gonna stream and say what other people are doing, because then you could just go watch their streams or watch their Gumroad videos or whatever. I'm actually wondering if I should do videos for Gumroad. I've done YouTube once, but I don't know if it's if any of this is worth selling or that. I always wonder, what level do you have to be before you can consider yourself worthy of? This is casual though, so this is fine. But yeah, divots everywhere. This wave here, I don't want that. I want, yeah. I'll show less talking, more. Frustrating. Out of here. So yeah, I just don't want this divot. Shape language is very, very important. That's the other thing too. It's like if, depending on what you're modeling or what style you're going for, things like that, you can get away with certain things. But because I'm going for very big, large, stylized, designed shapes, any like weird wonkiness in that shape is just going to be super obvious. Now, if you think of realistic hair, it's just super wavy and it doesn't really like if you have a extra little bit of a wave in something like this kind of a wave be okay if you had like kind of strands or like really wavy hair, but because this is supposed to be very clean, can't have that. Well, I can, but it wouldn't look very good. I've been listening to this soundtrack for the last 3 weeks, not straight, obviously. But whenever I work on this guy, I've been working on the soundtrack. I still like it. I'm not annoyed by it yet. And you'd think after listening to something on repeat for that long, you'd get kind of frustrated, but oh, so for the follow message, Jay caught him following. I pronounced that right. You know, one thing I should do, maybe, is just upload my latest sculpts to Sketchfab so that way doing stuff like this and I'm up close and people are like, what are you actually working on? They could click on a link, see what the actual full model looks like and around it. That said, it would have to be pretty decimated beyond web, but still give an idea, I suppose. Make my stream a little more interactive. But I'm not sure if anyone in the description or oh well, whatever. It's all well and good. I think the way I'm a that's the other difficult thing about Twitch is like the main reason I want to do Twitch is because I want to demonstrate and show things, but at the same time, you have to be kind of entertaining. Not the best entertainer, but because I kind of have to fill in the gaps too. I suppose like I was doing YouTube videos before, and that was easier because you have to you just kind of plan out a couple minutes, say, and you're doing that time. It's prolonged like this. There's gonna be stretches where I'm not saying anything, and they have to sift through all this stuff to figure out what their find something. But even that seems almost sounds kind of pretentious. Like, who am I to tell people what they should and should? What nerve? I think that's why I stopped doing. Felt like I have things I should be saying just yet. I mean, I haven't even worked at any major studio or anything like that. I've worked on mobile games. A couple of my stuff with that, but that's the same. masking. Very handy. I often forget to use because at a glance you think, oh man, it's just gonna take time. And maybe it does. Maybe it does take a little bit more time. However, the end result is way better. Trying to like pull. Look at that. Like all that time I sculpt this out. Terrible, but I could just now the move brush. Yank that out. Have it. Polish it out without hitting things I don't want to hit. I have to clean up areas, obviously. Last ended. Oh, quick save. Crash now. I don't have weird wavy creases. See all these like dents and stuff that I actually have there. Like these, you don't want to have any of that. I've been spending hours just every piece. This character finding it. That's the other thing about this specific character is he's taking ever because he's so many pieces. There's a lot of parts. I should. There it is. Look at this. All these pieces. Ridiculous. I think that wasn't even all of them. I don't think it was showing them all. And a lot of parts are combined together when they shouldn't be. That means there'd be even more pieces. But like the things that I modeled in Maya, I usually just bring in as one. So I intend to sculpt on them. There are some pieces that I do and some that I don't. It really depends on what it is. What's it called? Isolate select strand because it's all really messed up under that. That area is really bad. I'm glad I saw that. Time is it? So I plan on streaming till about 9:30. I know that I my regular time is to start at 9, but I started at 8 today just because it's been a long day and I don't want to be streaming. Not that o'clock or 10 o'clock is late. It's late to stream. So at that point I'll want to stop thinking by then. What kind of a stream would it be if I was just here brain dead? I'm here. Crazy ramblings. Hopefully not the worst ramble. I definitely gotta talk more and often forget to do. But it's just me talking about whatever I do as I do. Hair actually very important because it frames the face, so you look at it way. Other than the face, most important parts. Maybe not specifically here, because this starts getting to the realm of where their hair sits on top of it. But the thing is, if I animate this, hair moves, you'll see it. So can't get away from it, unfortunately. Although, what am I saying? I like doing this. I have elected to do this. This is my own personal work. Not like I'm being paid to do this. I have other jobs I'm being paid for, which I could be doing. But I need breaks from that. I can't just do client work, because if you just do that, you burn out way faster. Like, this way I can still improve myself without feeling as burnt out. Because it's different when you're directing yourself than when being directed. Mind you, all my clients are great, so that big a deal. But I've had, I've had nasty. You never want a nasty client. But I think part of it was my fault, because when I had those nasty clients, I was a beginner. And then if you're a beginner, you obviously make mistakes, and then they freak out because you make a mistake. Which is, rightfully so. But you can freak out in a good way, and you can freak out in a bad way, a professional way. Sometimes I got like one, I think, yeah, both the clients, I ended up just getting silent treatment. What are you, 5? That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. I learned from this. I learned a lot. But the big problem was I had done those jobs right when I was starting, like right after school. I couldn't get a studio job, so I was thinking, okay, well, I'll do some freelance work. Never done it before, I don't know what I'm doing. So I was doing that for a while, and then I ended up landing a full-time job, and then I had to cut it off, and obviously that didn't go so well. Not to mention my skill level wasn't high either. They didn't want to pay very much. And as soon as you ask for more, that's when they stop talking to you. Freelance is rough, Paperclip House. Freelance is rough, but I love it at the same time. Right now, like, I do it alongside a studio job, so I've kind of found a way to balance it. But I can't take on at the same time. I can only take my ideal is just to have one freelance job, one full-time job, and then one little side personal project that I can just on and off as I have time. I'm assuming you freelance as well, Paperclip House? The heck is going on? Weird. I had a mask that I couldn't see. You do 3D freelance creation, or what kind of things do you do? Oh, board game company. That's awesome. Yeah, I had wanted to do that a while back. I just didn't know how to get into that field. But I'm happy with games. Honestly, I like working on indie stuff better than big studio stuff. Although my big studio is all preschool. I love the studio, love the people. I've worked on preschool for a little now. First gig was on Thomas the Train, Max Steel, which was great, just because it wasn't preschool. But I was working on Thomas for a year, and now I'm working on a company I was working for before went under. Yep. How long have you been working on board games? Which studio went under? You asking? Or which Thomas? Like Thomas the Train. I worked on season 20. I worked on 3 specials. Adventure Begins. There's like that pirate treasure one, and then Race Around the World. Oh yeah, I also worked on one that was like a 4D movie, like those ones that you see in parks or whatever. I had no idea what happened to that one, but I working a little. Ah, yes. Say like what stuff I did. Actually, on my art station, there's a link there that shows a couple of the trains that I modeled. Thank you for your interest. I actually did a lot of work on Barbie too. I was also at ARC. Although I don't get credited for that because the stuff I did on Barbie was stuff I did for Thomas that got reused. But still there. I worked on Space Barbie. Yeah, it was funny because the cool thing about working on Thomas is because Thomas had so many assets because it had existed for so long, all the other shows would steal from Thomas. So when you work on Thomas, you technically work on all the shows in the studio. Yeah. It's too bad Ark is gone now. Of course, if they were still around, I'd hesitate in saying things. I'm not sure if they'd like saying, "Oh yeah, we stuff." Although that's very. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, it sucks when you don't get credited. It's not fair. I see it happen a lot, but it still sucks. You have a portfolio, by the way? Terribly much. I bet it doesn't show up on the camera or on the screen recording, but super. Don't like it. I should be putting on the shiny shader. Will help. There we go. Now I can see all the flaws even further. This is probably bad for my health. That's okay. I want this to be as good as I can possibly make it, because I'm quite fond of the design I'm working. If you haven't seen Trent Kaneyuga's art, you should really check it out. Because he has some really nice design. Oh, that's alright. Well, send a link to that sculpt. I'd like to see it. And you're learning rigging, eh? What tool are you rigging in? Maya, Max, Blender? I've done some Maya rigging. In fact, my career started in rigging, and then I worked my way out of it because I never wanted to do it again. In fact, I wrote a script that creates a biped so that I would never have to rig any of my characters, because I do like make my own games on the side, or at least I use. I always use the rig. Now I just use the rigging tool to pose my models. I don't have time to make a full game, although I really should. I gotta go back and do that again. It's just I put it on hold in favor of building my portfolio up because again, I kind of want to games and out of schools, but that's okay. I hate to say that though, because like I love the studio I'm at. The people are great, and everything is really nice. It's just not the kind of work that I'm that fond of. I want to work on something that I can say like that I would enjoy myself, but haven't had that opportunity. Oh, Max Steel was pretty close. That was a fun looking show. Like I would watch that. In fact, I did watch it. I watched it after, but still, it's like not quite the same. Oh, nice. I like that sculpt. You gotta post more angles though. Yeah, Maya's the tool I use all the time. I had to buy one of them, and I thought, okay, what works best for me? So I tried all of them. I tried 3ds Max. I tried Maya. I've tried oh man, I can't even remember what that one was called. So it was one of the other Autodesk products, and then I also tried Blender to see if I could work with the free stuff, and nothing cut it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use Maya. Maya has tons of flaws, but it does everything I need. It has good rigging tools. It has the modeling tools. It has the rendering tools, and I can do all that stuff. So it's like if I'm gonna drop 4K, I might as well drop it on something that's, you know, does everything for me. And I have to own it because I do all this work for people, right? Really got a polish brush. Ironically, though, I was rigging recently because I was looking at like some of the Overwatch animations. Because oh man, I forget that guy's name, but he posted that May animation that he did, and then I saw some GDC talks and stuff, and I was like, man, I really want to have my characters do that kind of thing, like act in that way. So I thought, you know what, I'll make it so that my rigs can do things that are similar. So I went and added like a full like stretchy rig to my rigging tool and a bunch of facial animation controls and stuff. Oops. Oh. To the desktop. Go. Sometimes my pressure sensitivity stops working, so I gotta go to the desktop, double tap on it. I don't know why that is what, like, I don't know why that is. I don't even know how I figured out that fixed it, but it does, so if If you ever have that issue, double tap on the desktop. Yeah, I don't only freelance at Brush because I do a lot of low poly stuff, and I'm not gonna do a low poly modeling in Brush. Yeah. Not to mention I published a couple games where I used Maya and I animated all that stuff. Actually, did I end up publishing? Yes, I did. I published one of them. There was another one that I was working on that I was really proud of, but I never released the game because I knew it wouldn't succeed. It was a game that it was a game that I made for mobile, but it was too complicated to be a mobile game. Makes me sad because I loved it. And the thing is too is like when people played it, everyone said it was great, but then no one could play it for more than 10 minutes because it's on a phone, and no one can play anything on a phone. Minutes. But my game takes more investment than that in order to actually get through it. And originally today I was hoping that I'd get to the decimation process on this, but I feel like if I did that I'd just be rushing this. And I think I would just be rushing it for the sake of the stream. But I don't want to do that. I hope that people are okay with watching me like this polished stuff that I've been doing for the last few streams. But I want this to be right, and I want it to be really good. My game wouldn't work as a desktop game because it used the gyrometer in the phone. I guess I could just replace it with a button key. But it's also not, it wasn't big enough to be a PC game either, because it was just, I don't even know. It's like it had elements that would work on, like the control scheme and the way you interact with the game was more PC-like, but the fact that there was like just the amount of levels there were and things like that just weren't really PC quality either. I don't know. It would have needed a lot more work, and I was kind of, at the time I was kind of demotivated because this had so much on my plate, and then nothing, like it wasn't getting any traction and no one seemed to care. Like the only people who cared were the people I showed it to, and only a little while. It didn't gain any, so you know, it's okay. I took it as a learning experience and moved on. I have other game ideas now I'm working on, but now I'm doing it specifically for PC, just because I can make games that I enjoy. I can have more creative freedom in terms of gameplay. Harsh that no one really cared. Well, yeah, that's the world. I mean, there's so much content out there. Make yourself interesting or noticeable. It's very, very hard, especially as a game developer. I mean, I have a buddy who's been trying to develop games for a long time, and he has to make all these, like, what he knows about marketing and whatnot, it just kind of saddens me. Like, just the methods that they have to use, and it's like, because he doesn't like it. He likes making games, but he can't make the games that he likes to make. That's just not fair. Because he has to work with publishers, and then he has to make these like really shitty games that he can crack out fast, just to try to get a hold on something. Yeah, the world's a harsh place. Cruel, harsh place. That's okay. That's why I listen to, you know, calm, relaxing music. Like this. So much better. regular smooth. I actually have a custom smooth brush in here because I find that the regular smooth just wipes everything away, but in this case I kind of want it to wipe everything away. I actually shouldn't really care about this too much because this actually won't be seen. This part probably will. That's where I should be focusing my attention, but that's okay. I often do that and I have to catch myself. Oh wait, what are you doing? No one will see that. Oops. Are you gonna see him without a hat? Probably not. um, I mean, maybe in the future. The hair is gonna be a separate texture, regardless. So, if I wanted to make a different set of hair later, it would be very easy. But right now, it's just gonna be always gonna be hat head. Just in the interest of time. I mean, I can't be spending all my time on one character just because I have so many things to do, but I've said that already. But for now, he's just gonna have be as is. So that's why I can just focus on specific things. I mean, if you saw him without a hat, I would model a complete different set of hair because I'm modeling the hair in a way that it actually racks with the hat or like wraps around with it. So it wouldn't really work without the hat. I do have like a base sculpt of hair that I put underneath the hat, but I ended up having to crush it. I added this hat, so yeah. If you look at my older videos, I was doing that, contemplating whether I wanted to have it or not. So it's there. I mean, if I decide to make it, it would probably be like, I don't know, a week's work. If I wanted to do a really good, really polished job. Obviously not great. Like that's with freelancing job. If I was just working on this, it would take that long. But I have a few other projects that are coming up, so I hate this freaking sound effect. Well, I don't hate it, but it's sure is bothersome. This soundtrack has all like the little clips and voice things. Well, not all the voice, but like things like that. I'm hoping that by next week I can get this guy at least get the low poly done and maybe not the UV portion. But I want to get him into texture soon. Pretty excited about that. I really want to texture this guy. That'll be fun. I've been trying to upgrade my skills in texturing because that's where I'm weakest. Obviously, because when you start off, it's so much easier just to make a sculpt and then stop. what I would do a lot of the time. Then I started doing the full process, but in order to do the full process, you still have to do the sculpt every time. So no matter what, you'll be leveling up your sculpting skills, modeling skills way more than your texturing. Unless I take other people's models, but I hate that. It's fine. I mean, eventually I'll catch up with my. This tune that it gets. Oh, coming. Oh, I don't even know if you can hear this. Um, sometimes it just doesn't work. But what do I texture in? I've actually been starting to learn Substance Painter as well, but because I do a lot of more stylized characters, I don't strictly use it. So I do a few things in Photoshop and then a few things in Substance Painter, and I kind of combine them to one crazy process, which I will stream. I will stream that process. But yeah, Substance Painter is really cool. I mean, it just makes adding patterns to surfaces a lot easier. Not to mention, like, you have triplanar projection and whatnot, although I don't tend to triplanar. It's because it. But for some things, it's nice. Like, if you're just applying, like, a general noise, but if you have a specific pattern, obviously it's because you can see where the seams are. But it's nice. My challenge is just using it in a way that it doesn't look like a Substance Painter textured model. I actually did a tutorial on Substance Painter on my YouTube. I textured a watch. Afterwards, I realized though that I put the wrong texture in a 3D viewer. I was previewing it on Sketchfab, and I put specular for the watch on the specular for the table that it's sitting on. And I didn't even notice until someone told me. Shameful. Shows how much of a professional I am. Yes. That's the other thing about streaming on Twitch that I've seen is a lot of artists stream. They seem to be working, like, the quality of their work doesn't seem to be as high as it is. They do their own thing inside. I feel like they are rushing it. Cause that's why I thought I was gonna go into low poly, and then I just decided not to, like, at the beginning of the stream, because I kind of came to that realization that I think Twitch kind of forces you to rush things. Like, on the one hand, it makes you liable and it makes you do the work, but it makes you try to do the work faster because they're watching you. I don't think. So I want this still to look really good, regardless. That's why I'm probably not going to do too many loose streams this week. I mean, normally what I do is on Tuesdays I'll do a full stream, and every other day I do a loose stream, or not every whenever I have time I'll do a stream. But if I'm just showing this polished stuff, I probably won't do a polish or like loose streams, just because it's gonna be the super redundant. And that way I don't feel rushed either, and I can put as much time into it without having expectations thrust upon me. I don't want people saying, "Oh wow, you're so slow compared to all these other." That's just me being self-conscious. Sure, no one actually thinks. Or the people that do it just go and watch it. You can go watch people who are fast. I don't care. Don't even care. The other thing I'm always curious about is whether it's better to have end in a more extreme point or make it duller in terms of projecting normal. And I guess it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna alpha out the tip, make it look like it ends in make the ends look feathered. I saw that in Overwatch, like way back, like when it first came out. I noticed it on the models that they had the tapered alpha on the end of like chunky hair like this, and I love that because it allows you to have like this nice stylized sculpted looking hair but still make it feel nice and loose on the tip. Yeah, watching it work, eh? Yeah, I watch streams at work too. It's fun. Streams are fun. They're nice to work to, right? Because if you're watching a stream, you're working. It's like you're working with someone. I mean, in a studio it's different, but when I'm working at home, it's nice to have a stream running because actually a little bit of a camaraderie going on. Okay, fine. Why is there a limit to my mask? Have you ever tried streaming before Paperclip House? Ah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing about streaming is you can if you have personal stuff that you're doing already, you can just turn it on. Because you're already sitting there. I mean, the only annoying part for me is the fact that I have to wear a headset that hurts my head. But that's about it. That's the only reason why I stop when I do normally. Like, well, my head is aching. I guess I'm done now. You know, another thing I've been considering doing is going back. Actually, considering, I think I will. Going back to a couple of my old models, like my favorite ones, and starting over with the textures. That way I can practice my texturing without having to create a whole new model. Dude, there we go. If you're in the middle of a brushstroke and it does a quick save, pressure sensitivity does not do anything. Just does like full pressure. Hate it when I have just like, well, what I feel to be the perfect stroke going on. Yeah, this is perfect. And then all of a sudden it says quick save. Blows up. That's okay. The woes of the digital space. Here I am crying about quick save. When you compare it to traditional sculpting, it can't save. Can you not fully turn it off? Yeah, originally, like when it first started, I wanted to turn it off, but then I realized that I always forget to save. In fact, since the stream has started, I have not saved once. But I know that I've been saving because the quick save has been coming up. Oh, got another follow message. Thank you for following, Retro Aid. I feel like that's the opposite of what I wanted. Why is it pulling up? I think it's from where I'm starting polish. So if I start from here, it's going to pull up. If I start from here, it should. That's right. That's it. Move brush. Get over here. Yeah. It's nice. Feels nice. I might take a break from this air second. On a different piece. I'm starting to get tunnel vision, I think. After a while, you just start trying to fix the same thing over and over again on repeat, I find. So it's good to jump around. But I feel like I've done some good work on it. The other thing too is the some lumps, like lumpy bits, are going to be obscured by the hair texture. So I can have that too. So even if I can't get it absolutely perfect, I know it'll still be okay. But that said, don't use that as a crutch. You want to just get it as close as you can, but it helps you not stress out over it. What time? Okay, in for another half hour. Call it a night. Uh-oh. What did I lose? Damn standard. There we go. I don't like how you can, like how the UI for materials and these things is changeable on the fly. I mean, if I have that set as my UI, I want it to stay that way. But sometimes if you click on it and then you click it again, your menu comes up. And then if I try to change it, it's actually going to just change this icon to something else. Wait. I wonder if R8 does that too. Probably. Oh, do you mean like in the deformation tab, clay polish? I don't like automated things. Unless it's something small. Because, I mean, it could polish something that I don't want polished. I mean, it could sharpen like a little dent here. Like I can see a bit of a dent go on here. And if it polishes it, then it's just going to make that more intense. So it's just, I want to, like for something like this, I want to have full control. Oh, really? That's good to know. What I've been doing is just restarting ZBrush when that happens. I mean, well, obviously, like, often you can just go and do that again, but if I were to do that to, say, my brushes, and, oops, I just need back. But if I were to do that with these brushes, and I ended up hitting a masking tool, if I click on it, it won't let me change that. It only lets you change these regular brushes. The masking tools will just say, your new masking tool has been selected. This will be now on your mask button. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the software is great, so I shouldn't be. I mean, everything else is pretty good. It's just small little things. It's that's the thing too. Is like when something's really good, you start picking out these really little insignificant things. But still, you know, it's a bother. But yeah, the init ZBrush, that's a good idea. So you mean like in here, init ZBrush or something? Or is it in Y? Oh, yeah, that. Yup. Try that. I have an issue. Alright, let's see what he looks like. He looks like a hero of time. That's another thing that I've always never did enough before is color in that iris. Make sure that iris is there, because when the iris wasn't there, you can't really tell if the eye is flawed. But then when I put the iris in, I noticed that the white area here was just way too wide, so that the eye was actually going far back, and then that helped me figure out that I actually have to push the eyelid forward a bit sides, make them feel a bit better. Yep, I definitely have my 3D software wish list. It's there. Oh. For my morph target and apply that. I'm gonna pull up the design. Oh, thank you, Paperclip has. Okay. Now I'm curious. How I completely forgot about this piece. I actually haven't done anything on it yet, but I'm wondering like how much detail I want to put in the folds here. In the design, it looks like it has, it's pretty folded, but they're little tiny creases. Either that or that's just the shading, because he kind of does shading like that too. Be straight. That's my dilemma. Pretty silly dilemma, but a dilemma regardless. And I feel like I do want to have a little bit of folding in there. I don't think I want to have like extreme like this kind of thing going on, but I want to have something. I'll put a little bit of increasing. And if I don't like it, I stored a morph target, so I'm good. I am just in. Ba ba ba. What boss are we fighting? Almost sounds like buzz music. I feel like this is just one of the bosses. Yeah, it was all the bosses had this correctly. Sorry, my mumbling probably very, very terrible. Kind of like this, you know, up just. Yeah, hopefully that's not loud. No, this isn't calm like the rest of my music. That's okay. That was the other thing about this game is most of the music very chill. I liked that a lot. There's enough things in life to stress you out. Why do I have to listen to like fucking loud and I keep forgetting that I haven't updated my current whip image. That whip is from like a week ago or two. Not sure how I feel about this. I think I like it. Thing is, if you decide to do something, you kind of have to own it. So I think that's what my issue is here is the fact that I'm not going all out with it everywhere. So if it's just area, it looks weird. I gotta skip this now. I think the music's on beat because this soundtrack also has a bunch of different versions. Yeah. So yeah, since I'm here, um, I'll explain how some things I do in ZBrush and some I do in Maya. So things like the bottle here, actually this whole thing was modeled in Maya, but it was originally sculpted in ZBrush just because it's a pretty like perfect primitive type shape, right? So if it's like a sphere, way easier to do in Maya than trying to get look right and be the right shape in here. Obviously these little clips on his belt here, those are also done in Maya. I guess it like any hard surface thing that's curved, I tend to do in Maya. But I'll start with a sculpt and then I'll go bring it into Maya and then go on top. Man, this music, the ambiance, I'm gonna change that because it has like these screeches. I mean, it sounds good in game, but if I'm trying to talk, it's just like this ambiance that's going up and above my voice. Ah, classic. Ba-da. Do you do all your board game work in-house, Paperclip House? Oh, I see. Okay, so you have your company job and your job similar to what I'm doing. What do you do for the slot house company? For slot machine? Slot house. Big scary music. Change this. I want to listen right now. Not fighting no bosses today. God damn it. Sure. Yeah. Just had to go through the alley of sound effects. Damn it. Not that. H polish. Oh, that sounds interesting. You enjoy doing that? More boss music. Ah, it's almost over. I'll leave it. I guess I am fighting a boss today. But Link isn't ready. He doesn't even have colors yet. How's he gonna fight bosses? Boy. Like Ganon's found is ideal time to attack. That's good. Shadow Link. Yeah, it's good to enjoy your work. A lot of people out there who do jobs that they hate. Very sad. There you go. This is a good. Bye. Way too in series. Ah, well, we are who we are. I don't like that this is super sharp. That has to change. That's very fair. I mean, better than working for the government. Way better. And I would hate to work for the government. I hear it pays really well, but I'd go completely insane. I have a few friends who opted to work for the government. I have no idea how they did, like how they can do it. But I guess teach their own, right? I'm sure there's tons of people who look at what I do and be like, "How could you sit and do that for hours on end?" It's a bit loud, eh? We'll turn that down. There we go. I gotta make a playlist that I can only get the chill music. I want the chill music. Oh well. That takes time, that I don't have right now. So many other things to worry about. Definitely gotta call it an early night though, because I've had some pretty rough nights the last couple. I don't know why. I mean, I just didn't sleep well. I even got more sleep than I normally do, which is weird. Oh well. That's fine. It is true. It is hard to get fired when you work for the government. But like, I've heard people say that they just want a job that they hate, then they can go home and not worry about anything. I mean, I don't think I could live that way. I kind of need to go home and then have my own aspirations and do things, but the sound of it, they just don't have any aspirations. Must be very sad, uh, like that. But I guess they wouldn't find it sad if they're happy. Before I go and refine that too much, I'm gonna just see how I feel about it. Leave it like that for a little bit. Now I can just like look at it from afar. Yeah, having a few creases in there is probably a good idea. But right now I'll focus on this cork. It needs to have those little holes in it. It's gonna look like cheese, I bet. Never tried to model a cork before. I've done low poly corks where I just texture stuff on, but I've never actually tried to model something. But from the design, it kind of looks like it might turn out looking like cheese. So I hope not, but we'll see. It's definitely not like realistic in terms of how that cork would be. I don't think. I don't think cork has like big holes like this. The reason I'm doing the inside and stuff, even though it's inside the bottle, is the bottle is going to be semi-clear. So you're going to still be able to see the cork a little bit. Although maybe not, I don't know. Maybe I'll make the glass kind of more opaque than less. I think this is actually an From afar, I guess it kind of feels like cork. I think the texture is what's gonna sell it. But I also think that this chunk is too small compared to the design, at least. That might be part of the reason why it doesn't feel cork-like. This is the great thing about ZBrush is I can just do all this stuff on the fly. Yeah, so despite all like those little times I complain about stupid things, this tool is amazing. Alright, just about ready to call it quits for the day. It's gonna try to get at least a semi happy with this cork, and I can see. Because I definitely won't go in and polish this today. I never like doing the initial sculpt and the polish in the same day. Good to get the shape down and step back from it, hit it again, opposed to just bring it all the way to completion and then looking at it the next day and realize you just wasted all that time. It doesn't have the right overall proportion. Okay. I think the other issue I did too is it shouldn't just be a flat base. It should just be kind of a divot as opposed to a sharp ridge. And I could like cut into like maybe a point of some kind. Yeah, I think mistake. Soften all that up. polish on. Oh. I think that feels more cork-like and less cheesy. Step away from the cheese. Yeah, no worries, Paperclip House. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun. I'm just finishing up now anyway. Save them up. Alright, so anyone else in the stream? It's been fun. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time, the next guaranteed stream is Tuesday, as usual. Tuesdays at starting between 8 and 9. And then any other random times during the week that I can have. So, you know, if you follow me on Twitter and whatnot, I will be on there to say that I'm streaming. Okay, so have a good one.